Little shit, that's what he's doing in my tomatoes. He's burying his nuts. Great. Well, I'm not going to do anything about it, so I don't know what I'm bitching about. I'm going to let him go ahead and do it because he's got to live through the winter outside and I don't. So, hi everyone, I'm Moody Boo and I am back with another list. A while back I did a video on I thought would be really good first date night perfumes. You know, because you don't know if you want a second one yet until you've had that first date. So what kind of perfume do you wear? Well, you don't want it to be too beastly. You don't want it to be too inviting. You don't want it to be too sexy. You know, anything like that. Because you just never know. You may not like this person and may not want to see them again. So you don't want them fixing in on the way you smell too much. So it's got to be pretty mainstream. I think, anyway. Well, if you like them, and that progresses, even though you may hook up with somebody on the first date, I have certainly done that in the past. And you connect with someone and it's like, why wait? But people, you know, with my husband, I wanted to wait. He was the first nice guy I'd ever dated. I was really into bad boys when I was young. And so I didn't want him knowing I was a bad girl in a good way. So I played kind of coy and kind of held back until I think we had been dating a couple weeks before we finally had our Netflix and chill date. So, you know, for everybody it's different. So I was going to say it's the 10th or the 7th, but it really is, I guess today's euphemism is Netflix and chill. So that's just what I'm going to go with. And these are perfumes that all bets are off. They can be beastly, they can be statement makers, and they certainly are sexy. I mean, that's kind of the criteria. You know, you want to wear a perfume that says, okay, I'm done with all the formalities. I'm over the chit chat and the small talk. It's time to amp this relationship up a bit. So what was it that they said in that movie, Grumpy Old Men? It's time to go to the island of Kamanawanalea. So, yep. So these are 5 perfumes, and I have an honorable mention, like I do, that I think are super sexy and that I would wear for a Netflix and chill. If it was a, you know, not my husband. I mean, if it was a totally new relationship is kind of where I'm coming from. Because these aren't necessarily my husband's favorites. But they are ones I would wear for that kind of a date. So here's the honorable mention. Now, I have had a love-hate relationship with this perfume. Well, I did in the very beginning because I got really pissed off at its performance. And it did take me a little while to understand it. And that is Frederic Malle's Musk Ravageur. Kind of an old staple. I mean, pretty much every perfume collector that collects any niche perfumes has Musk Rav in there. And there's a reason. It's a very good perfume. To me, when you first smell it, it's very clove heavy. Kind of a sweet clove. And that was a bit off-putting because it clashes a little bit with the rest of the notes. And those are vanilla, musk, cinnamon, clove, tonka, amber, lavender, sandalwood. There's some other woods, citruses. So with those notes, the problem is that I think what puts people off is there's a bit of a clash. At first, it's like a slightly sweet clove. And then, but almost immediately, the vanilla and the musk start coming in. And that musk and the clove, I think, have a little bit of clash there for a short period of time. But the musk takes over at that point, and the clove kind of tames down. And then all of the other notes start to come in. It's never too spicy, but there's a sexy to it. That musk, once the clove tames down a little bit, that musk is a sexy musk. I don't think it's a soapy musk at all. I think it's a sheer sexy musk. More animalic than soapy and clean. Not necessarily a white musk. It has no screech factor at all. It's very soft, very warm, very inviting. This is more of a romantic kind of Netflix and chill kind of perfume, almost more of the formal making love instead of getting laid kind of a perfume, to where maybe a nice bath with some lavender oil is involved at first before you migrate to the bedroom. Maybe you don't even go to the bedroom. I don't know. This can be your scenario too, you know. And then there's you know, Marvin Gaye playing on the stereo, and everything's gentle and loving and that kind of thing. That's kind of what I get with Musk Ravageur, even though the name does not say that. The smell does to me. It's more soft and enveloping kind of a perfume for sexy time. Performance sucks though. That's why I was pissed off at it to begin with. I bought a bottle of it, went through about a third of it, and I was like, you know, I'm done with the performance. You're out. And then I missed it and got it again because somebody sent me Musk Ravageur oil. I didn't even know they made an oil, but I guess they did for a short time. And oh, I fell in love with it all over again. I still have that oil. I covet it. So anyway, I had to get another bottle, and I love it. And that's the honorable mention. Musk Rav by Frederic Malle. So number 5 is Calamat Black by Arabian Oud. This is what you would wear for a Netflix and chill in an exotic location. Say you were in Dubai or something, and in this beautiful hotel with a wonderful view. And yeah, this is what I would wear for that kind of a scenario, because it is sexy, it's exotic, it's warm, it's inviting, it's beastly. It has a hint of danger to it, like you're not sure if handcuffs are going to be involved or not. Maybe there's a red room. Ooh. Now, Calamat Black is just oud, vanilla, amber, olibanum, and basil. But it's all about the oud and the vanilla, I think, in the amber. Oh. This is beastly, but it's, like I said, sexy. And it's warm. It does not have a big trajectory to its dry down like Musk Rav does. This one stays fairly linear, but the entire time it's sweet without being cloying. It's very unisex. It's warm, it's rich, it's inviting, it smells exotic. And boy, it can last too. Oh, this is one that should be in everybody's perfume collection. I have Calamat, the regular Calamat, and then Calamat Black. And there's a couple other Calamats that I want to get. I think there's a Calamat Amber, but I think it's an oil. And so that kind of was like, yeah, I don't know. I got to think of that. I'm just not sure about oils. But because they turn, you know, they turn faster than a perfume does to me, and oil does. So, oh, there's a squirrel. Do not bury your nuts in my tomatoes. Is he burying his nuts? Oh, that little shit. That's what he's doing in my tomatoes. He's burying his nuts. Great. Well, I'm not going to do anything about it, so I don't know what I'm bitching about. I'm going to let him go ahead and do it because he's got to live through the winter outside and I don't. So, all right. Well, next one. Oh, and price is mid-range on this. I think it's about, I think you can get it for like between 100 and 150. Musk Rav for a 50 ml, I think is about the same thing. Next up. Now, there is a common denominator with certain perfumes that I find exceptionally sexy. And not all of them in this list, but there's a couple of them that have a common denominator, and that's the note of honey. It can be very carnal. It can smell exceptionally sexy, almost as if it's already been warmed and poured over a person's body, let to cool, and then you start eating it off. That kind of an aroma. And this is Malle by Xerjoff. Very heavy honey. So Malle to me is a perfume almost that you would wear to seduce your lover if you were staying at relative's house. Because it's not too sexy. It doesn't give too much away. But if you're wearing it and that's on your mind, then you're going to know where this message is headed. It's not so carnal that, you know, family is going to smell it and go, uh-oh, we got to remember to change the sheets when they leave after this weekend. And don't use a black light. So Malle is very honey heavy, but it's not too carnal honey. It's just, it's subtle. And it's also got caramel and oud and jasmine and benzoin, osmanthus, amber, musk, vanilla, some citrus. And it doesn't have a huge journey in the dry down or to the dry down either. Just a little bit, because it stays pretty sweet, honey, oud. But when the musk and some of that osmanthus and amber kick in, it does kind of ground it a little bit. And that's one of the reasons I said this would be a good one to wear for a Netflix and chill at family's house when you're staying with your significant other or soon to be significant other at family's house, you know, because it's not so in your face, but it has facets. So it starts off and it's got a hint of honey at the top, sweet honey, little oud. That's enough to say, you thinking what I'm thinking while you're sitting there at dinner with all of the family, maybe playing footsies under the table. And then you get to the middle. It's not a big journey, but there's a little bit subtle. And then some of that jasmine and amber kick in and some of the musk. And then it's like, well, some of the honey kind of settles down a little bit. And then it's like, well, you about ready to get out of here? Let's go make our excuses and go take a walk. Like my husband, I used to tell our kids, we're going to go tell secrets now. We're going to go wrestle. It never worked. My kids always knew. It was only for my own mind thinking, well, I feel like I've done due diligence as a parent. Terrible. It's not too beastly, but it can be if you overspray. So be careful on the trigger if you are at family's house, if you want to be subtle, if you want it to be a secret between the two of you or three of you or whatever you're into. All right, next up. This next one is a very kimchi fragrance. People either love it or they hate it, and I adore it. I adore it, and that's Urban Musk by Tom Ford. And this is one people are like, it's barnyard. Yes, it is, but it's not the poop barnyard. It's not the floor of the barnyard. It's the actual musk coming off of the animals, kind of a barnyard. But that goes away really quickly. I actually have some on my hands. It gets a little fruity. It gets a little spicy and warm when it dries down, because at first it is pretty barnyard, but it's an attractive barnyard to me. I just absolutely love it. Like I said, it's the musk coming off of a sweaty horse kind of a barnyard, not the poop on the floor. Not at all, not to me. But it has a hint of sweet at that point too. And it's not a beast mode kind of perfume either, even at the barnyard stage. So this is musk and honey and jasmine and ambrette and plums and incense and benzoin and some spices. But it's not overly spicy. It's this warm, musky vanilla kind of a perfume but it is not a beast mode perfume. Performance is not outstanding on this. And you would think with a barnyard kind of smelling perfume or an animal musky kind of a smelling perfume that it might be beastly, but it is not. I have worn this year round. I love this stuff. I have it 2 decants, so I have barely touched the bottle. And because I have to carry it around because it does die out after about 3 or 4 hours. It's really hard to smell. So I carry tons of decants with me that I've bought. And I just covet my bottle. I'm so afraid it's going to be discontinued. It may be already. I don't know, but I love this stuff. I find it exceptionally sexy. And this is the kind of sexy perfume that you would wear if you're out in the country. You know, staying at a bed and breakfast out in the country and enjoying a very, very rural kind of a setting where hardly anybody is around, maybe lots of animals, maybe it's a ranch or something, bed and breakfast. This would be a good one for that because nobody would get the message because it's subtle too. So you could wear it at other places as well. Love it. Absolutely love it. And its price is, I think for this line, gosh, I don't remember, for a 50 ml. I want to say it's mid-range, under 200. It might be, I know a lot of his are like 200, 210, but I'm not sure if these ones are, this line is in that price range or if it's one of the cheaper ones. I'm not sure. So, Urban Musk, Tom Ford, next. The next one, Art Meets Art, Sexual Healing. So the name kind of says it all, doesn't it? This is a perfume I would wear because it's blatant. Okay, it's blatant. It is, you're wearing a thong and a couple pasties and some come fuck me boots walking into a club. Well, you better hope that club is appropriate for your attire and warm, because there's no mistaking what you want when you wear this perfume. This is what you wear if you are going to an orgy. Just saying. If you're going to a club that is just absolutely packed and everybody's dancing and sweaty and grinding, and you know, maybe there's some people dancing in scantily clad attire hanging in cages, you know, and those cages they're dancing in, you know, you see those on movies. That's kind of what I picture somebody wearing this too. Because like I said, it's blatant. There's no question. You are ready to have some fun of the naked kind. And very soon. This one performs like crazy too. So you better hope you're going to be at that club a while. Or maybe there's somewhere else you want to go after the club. It'll last. For as many rendezvous as you want to make, it'll last. This is just honey, tobacco, vanilla, and spices. And of course, I'm looking off of Flagrantica. What the hell is that? Flagrantica? I'm looking off of Fragrantica, and sometimes they leave out notes or they put in notes that aren't actually there, and I don't always have time to look up the notes to see if Fragrantica is accurate. This is very heavy, honey, tobacco, vanilla, and there's a hint of spice, but not a lot. Now, this one does not have a big trajectory either, just a blip, just barely, because those spices come in a little more, and the sexy part backs off just a hair into the dry down. Not a lot at all. The spices kind of pull it down out of that cage and says, here, let's dance on the dance floor with everybody else for a little while. Quit showing off. Oh, I think this is wonderful. Completely unisex. And yeah, I would not wear this to a business dinner or your parents' house. no, this would not be appropriate. Oh, and the price on this is mid-range as well. I think it was between 100 and 150. So, all right, last up. So the last one also happens to be my husband's favorite out of the lineup. And I love all of these, but it's definitely right up there for me as well. And this is a sexy perfume I think you would wear if you want multiple partners. Multiple Netflix and chill, because I find it so inviting, so sexy, and so does my husband. I mean, whew, yeah. And it's neither male nor female, in my opinion, and it's very androgynous. Anybody could wear it. Anybody could be attracted to it, in my opinion. But it's not so beastly in your face that you have to box it into one particular scenario or another. This could work for handcuffs all the way to parents' house, as long as you don't overspray, all the way to the sex club, all the way to an exotic place in lands over oceans. And that is, for me, Rouge No. 2 by Micallef. This one is so pretty. And the red glass, yeah, no. I just love this. And I think it's a kimchi fragrance. I think some people don't love it. And now Rouge No. 1, this was one, okay. Micallef puts out, a couple of exclusive perfumes every year that once they are sold out, they're pretty much gone. And Rouge No. 2 was one of them, along with Rouge No. 1. I didn't care for Rouge No. 1. So this is just civet, vanilla, orchid, some black currant, amber, nutmeg, violet, labdanum, jasmine, some citruses. I don't really get the citruses, not even at the top. It's all civet, vanilla, orchid, amber, a little bit of spices. I get more labdanum than people have voted on Fragrantica. It is also, to me, can be a very sexy note. Or it can potentiate other sexy notes and make them a little sexier, in my opinion. It's sweet. It's carnal without being overtly. It's formal. It's romantic. It's exotic in a way, or could be worn in those kind of scenarios and be appreciated. Oh. Performance on this is, subtle. It's not so in your face. It's more 2 sprays. I get 6-7 hours out of it. But it does linger. It leaves a little essence of itself. It almost like it leaves just a little bit of the civet and the vanilla for a short period of time, for about an hour after the perfume is gone. But I just get just little hints of it every once in a while once it's pretty much gone. Price, I don't know, because, this was an exclusive one of. So I don't think they're making it anymore, but I think you can still find Rouge No. 1 and Rouge No. 2 really inexpensive, a lot less than I paid for it, because I paid it was like 200 and something for it when it came out, but I think you can get it for a lot less than that now. It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Oh, it's so sexy. Anyway, all right, that was my 5, well, really 6 Netflix and chill perfumes that I would wear for that kind of a date, personally. All right, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and ding, ding, ding the bell if you want. If you don't, it's all good. And comment. I still love you. Use your nose, please.